All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are still here at Tom Bergin's, and this place is awesome. I gotta admit, because we got the fireplace, we got the leather couches, we've got the pool table, and we're gonna fire up here a little bit later. We got Adam Grotman's in the house, and right now I have Wendy Packer, who is one of the top bloggers in the field of fashion over 50. As a matter of fact, that is what her blog is called, is Fashion Over 50. And what we want to do is we want to get her some mic time. Wendy, how you doing, baby?
I'm good, thank you, bro. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I got the Wendy cam on. You look cute.
Oh, thank you. I'm panning out as far as I can. I won't reach any farther.
So, You just went on a lovely little trip. Before we get into that trip, tell me a little bit about what you're about. What is Fashion Over 50? Like, what is that? Because it's a very cool niche. I mean, there are women out there who feel forgotten after 40 or 50 and in the world of fashion, and you're able to shine a little light, a lot of light on Fashion Over 50. Tell me what's that's about.
Thanks. Well, it's basically about, it's a really big picture I have, which kind of feeds into my recent trip to Peru, which is about really shifting the paradigm in our culture away from, women.
Eat that mic a little bit more.
Sorry. Oh, okay. I hear me now. It's about shifting the entire paradigm that goes on in our society today, where women after a certain age are kind of discounted, they feel invisible. Even, women in their 20s and 30s dread getting older because they feel at a certain age they're going to drop off a cliff. And so it's about, it was really kind of my visionary, shamanic view that we needed to start waking society up about women after the age of 40, 50, 60, 70, we still have the same soul, no matter how old our bodies get, and we have the same amount of creativity if women don't succumb to depression and the societal norm, which is that you need to crawl into a corner. So that's kind of how I started. And then I got very fortunate, and a young man at Bloomingdale's in Chicago, a salesman, and I were talking, and we decided that we would do fashion shows together with women over 50 in them. And so I met this wonderful man who's a runway coach, and so we had the women training on the runway to walk down the catwalk, and it's amazing what happens to women when they have to walk down the catwalk and be seen. And I don't know if you're 20 or 30 or 60 or 80, it's a very empowering experience. And so once I saw that, how empowered these women felt after, being in a fashion show, then I just thought, this is great. I've got to just spread the word all over that, we're hot.
You are hot.
Thank you.
I can contest to that.
Oh, thank you.
I met you at the El Paseo Fashion Week, and you were just stunning, doing your thing. You had your fashion thing going. You had your camera, and you were getting shots, and you're doing all kinds of cool stuff. Just try to get your camera going. I think you need to put your password in there, and I will.
Okay, thank you.
I will get your camera going again.
All right.
But it was cool that you were out doing what Wendy does, and you got some really good shots, and did some really cool things, and it was very, very exciting to watch you do your stuff. And you said, hey, can you do some photo shoots of me? And I was like, yeah, I would love to. And then that's how our relationship got started.
That's right. Yep. I liked you the minute I met you. It was like at first sight.
Oh, awesome. Well, I liked you the first time I met you as well, because
Thank you.
you're charming, and everyone loves you, and you're adorable. And,
Oh, wow.
and the work that you're doing with Fashion Over 50 really impressed me. I was just like, wow, why didn't I think of that? That's pretty cool.
Well, you still could. There are too many male bloggers out there.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna leave that up to you, because that's kind of like your thing.
Okay.
I was very impressed too. You got over 200,000 followers, and you're like top of the search engine on just about anything Fashion Over 50. You pop up in top 10, top 5, top 3, number 1 spot.
Yeah, I've been in number 1 a couple places too. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So where do you see it going? Like, what do you want to do with that? What's your vision for Fashion Over 50? 10 million and, hosting your own fashion show, or opening up a boutique, or designing clothes, or what's your grand scheme for Fashion Over 50?
Well, my big vision is I would love to do a reality show, and I would love to, like a Project One Way or something. Not Project One Way, but the project that it was Tyra Banks, I think, that America's Next Top Model kind of thing for women over 50. And I think that, with fashion shows, training them on the runway, just empowering women. And I also, because I'm a shaman, when I do my week-long classes that we prepare for, I do chakra balancing. I do, when I sense that the women are getting overwhelmed, we take breaks, and I teach women how to breathe and how to ground themselves. So, and it's also about the divine feminine that I think is kind of really under attack right now in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Not even, and in this country as well. I think that women are really not respected, and so I that's part of my mission too, is to help women feel really empowered.
Now, you took a trip you were gone for a long time, 2-3 weeks, to what was it, Colombia or Peru?
Yeah.
And that was kind of a spiritual trip for your activities as a shaman.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about that trip. What happened there?
Well, I took my younger son with me, and we went on some interesting missions. I had taken a class from a shaman who said that there is a mountain in Peru that is for people who have broken hearts. And so my lineage is kind of one of broken hearts. My mom was adopted from an orphanage, and her mother who adopted her wasn't all that nice. And I watched, it's a sad story that I don't need to recount. And the minute I heard that, I thought, I'm going to Peru. I have to go see that mountain. So my son and I, we trekked up to 14,000 feet and had some issues with altitude. And so I rode the horse in. We were near the mountain called Ausangante, and which is like the premier sacred mountain in Peru for the pre-Inca culture, and even the Incas too. They're all the Andes Mountains are amazing. Anyway, so we did it. We made it in, and despite my thinking I was having an aneurysm the night before due to altitude sickness. And so I'm not sure if it worked or not, but I was there, I saw it, and I'm hoping that Spirit is going to help heal that lineage piece that's of broken hearts for me, my children, my children's children. And so that was the first part. Of course, we went to see Machu Picchu, and the next 10 days my other son met us, and we went with the shamans every day, and we did ceremony with them, and the ceremonies, and we received the rites, which include Earth Keepers rites, visionary rites, just lots of really important rites that we need so desperately right now in this country and all over the world, really. But
that's awesome. Now we're going to do a podcast specifically for you. What what are some of the things that you want to go over on your podcast? Like, what are some of the things, like if you were to take your podcast and kind of divide it up into different chapters, what would that be? Like, shaman, fashion over 50, self-empowerment.
Yeah, all those. I think too, one thing, I'm not sure how we would address it, but women are really mean to other women. And I don't know if it's because we grew up in a patriarchal society where women strive to get attention from men, and that's our main goal. That's a lot of women's main goal, I guess, is because that's the way it's been. And so on my blog, I see, on my Facebook page, I get one woman, I posted a picture of her with her cleavage showing, maybe a couple inches, and she got like hate mail for doing that. And
that's just wrong.
It is so wrong.
Women should be able to post cleavage without other women totally hating on them, because who doesn't love a little cleavage?
That's right. What's wrong with little cleavage? It's beautiful.
What is wrong with the little cleavage, Wendy? That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know. Well, I see. You should be a fan on my page. But anyway, yeah. So it was really disappointing because the model got really upset. She's from Australia, and then she wrote a piece about how upset she was, and Yahoo picked it up, and then we were on Yahoo.com about just how mean women can be to each other and why. So I would do about 4 segments on that, just to enlighten women that, lighten up.
All right. So when we do the first Fashion Over 50 podcast, let's jump right into that one.
All right. Yeah, that's kind of it's a heavy one.
That is a heavy one.
Yeah, we might want to start out with something lighter.
No, we start heavy and then we work light. That's you want to just go in there with the bull's horns and get people talking and blogging, and then we can follow up with something kind of lighter and softer. You
know what? It's really true, but it's a conversation that needs to be started.
It needs to be started.
Yeah.
It needs to happen, and we can always roll into the friendlier, lighter.
Okay, you're right. I shouldn't back off.
Where can we find you on the web?
You can
and tell us
me.
Where can we find your blog? Okay,
my blog I just posted today for the first time in 3 weeks because I've been gone. At fashionover50.com, fashionover50.com, and I'm on Facebook at fashionover50, and Instagram I'm at fashionover50.wendy. Twitter, I'm all over if you really want to find me, you can find me everywhere.
Don't make us hunt.
Okay.
Don't make it. Tell us exactly where we can find you on your stuff.
Okay. Well, Instagram is fashionover50.wendy. Twitter, I think, is fashionover50. Let's see. I don't know. Tumblr, I think I'm on too, is fashionover50. So I think that's I don't. It's a full-time job, this social media. I'm sure everybody says the same thing.
Well, I think we need to get some revenue going for you too on that. 250,000 people. You should be able to pull some coin out of that.
You're right.
Some way, shape, or form. Well, Wendy, thank you for coming down to Tom Bergin's here, Irish Pub, and kicking it with the PodBrother Nation. This is the Penalty Game podcast. I haven't really gone into what the penalty game is yet, but we'll do that next week a little bit more. Right now, I'm glad that you came down and you hung with myself and Rich Banker and Adam Grotman, who's about to come up next. And I really, really appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to diving into that Fashion Over 50 podcast, why women are so mean to each other.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
You do a little homework, I'll do a little homework, and we'll come back and we'll do a one-on-one, you and I.
All right, great. I'd love that. Thank you. I'd love that opportunity.
Cool. There you have it, Wendy Packer. This is PodBrother Nation. We are at Tom Bergin's Irish Pub. We will be back with funny man Adam Grotman, who is probably one of the funniest dudes on the planet, because he just is. And there's what camera? Oh, your camera here. I always forget what camera to look at. Is it this one or this one? And we'll be back with Adam Groutman, and we're going to chop it up on some comedy and some podcast, and maybe we'll talk about hell gigs. We'll talk about the infamous John Lovitz Podcast Theater, which no longer is with us. And we'll be back, and we'll kick it with Adam. So stick with the PodBrother. That's all I can say. Thank you, Wendy.